trailblazers in research, innovators in technology, and all those who live by the NUSTian spirit. This is the Scholars Avenue, the final in the 24th edition in the season 1. And trust me, you do not want to miss this one. So far, 23 of our best became part of these conversations, and every conversation was a very huge learning experience for all of us. So brace yourself for yet another one, because this one presents itself as a perfect example of moving up the ladder. This one is a perfect personification of a true career progression, and this one is a living proof that persistency pays off and positivity equals progress. So let's not wait any further. Let's dive right into it and meet the Pro-Rector of Academics at NUST, Dr. Osman Hasan. Dr. Osman, Assalamu alaikum. Kaise sir, theek thaak hai? Khairiyat se? So let's make this season ender unforgettable. Okay, then sir, you arrived at NUST in 2009 from Concordia University, Canada, Montreal, after your MS and PhD. उस वक्त NUST बन रहा था. It was a बियां सा बिल्कुल barren land था ये. कुछ भी नहीं था यहाँ पे. Nothing was here. So you came here as an assistant professor. When I say you were moving up, your whole journey has been a perfect example of how career progresses. And you just moved up the ladder. आपने हर दौर देखा. You've seen every stage, from assistant professor to the associate professor to the HOD of the electrical engineering, then principal and dean of one of the biggest schools on campus, School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, and then what you are now, the Pro-Rector of the Academics. This is like you're the custodian of the entire academic ecosystem. So you're steering major directorates, you're pushing reforms, overseeing curriculum, students, faculty, looking after everything. How's your work-life balance?
Alhamdulillah, this is something that I'm really proud about. And I think my family has a big role to play in my work-life balance. Some of my best moments in the day is spent with my family. I always try to have one-on-one interactions with each family member that I have, including my wife, my mother, my kids. And those conversations are so relaxing that when I come to work the next day, I'm always as good as a new start.
So what's the one thing that gets you out of the bed in the morning?
Getting out of bed is not easy for me. But
neither for me. I can guarantee that.
I love to sleep, but I always coming to NUST is something that is very, very inspiring, and I always look forward to a great day. In academia, and especially in my job, every day is a new day, and I'm a kind of a person that I get bored very easily with stuff that I keep on doing. So. Here, every day is a new day. Every day has a new challenge. So that's what.
So monotonous is not your cup of tea. That's not you
at all. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You've been switching between academia and industry all your life a lot. और पाकिस्तान में आपने काम किया LSI Logic, right? That's back in Montreal.
Yes.
और वहाँ पे आपने काम किया. And then of course आप academic साथ बहुत अरसा you've been linked with it. So best of both the worlds you are. This is a competitive edge for you. But again, this is not the real question. The question is that are we bringing in real world experiences to NUST? क्या हमारी faculty industry grade है? That's the question.
देखिए, because I have worked both in the industry and academia, so as you said that I understand both worlds very well. In the industry, the pace is very fast. You have very clear objectives. You want to get them done because, in the end, the objective is to make money. That's how it is. And you're usually working at a very, very strict timeline. In academia, it's entirely different. We are very good at solving very hard problems, but we want to do it at our own pace. So as researchers, when we join as a faculty member, the best thing that we always used to say is that the flexibility that we have is the best thing that we have in life. The work-life balance that you spoke about, that's what we always get pride in, because the salaries are usually not that compatible with the industry, but this is the best part of our life when we join academia. So we want to take our time. Now these two communities, they are coming from totally different perspectives, and in order to connect them together is a challenge, because we expect different things from each other. So from the academic perspective, when I want to work with the industry, I would just assume that they would understand what my work life is like, because I teach, I also engage with my students, I do research, and then I would also work on their problem. On the other hand, in the industry, when they want to work on a problem, they dedicatedly work towards that thing and towards that goal. So as I said, this mutual understanding is the most important thing, and for that we need to bring people closer to one another. In my early days at NUST, when I was a faculty member, I always wanted to engage with the industry, and I somewhat got this impression that people in Pakistan, especially who are working in the industry, they don't understand how academia works because they have different expectations. They have expectations that cannot be met by the faculty members here. Now, initiatives like the Science and Technology Park has helped really well in that context, I would say, because that has brought industry to our doorstep. So now the faculty is being engaged as consultants with the industry that is present here. The students are being engaged as internees. And now this is where, we are trying to develop that mutual understanding, and many good things are coming out of those initiatives and those linkages that are being established. So mashallah, things are evolving towards the right direction. We also have programs where we place our faculty members in the industry for a few weeks during the summertime, and that also helps. So in my opinion, these two communities are meant to work with one another in order to succeed. But you see, the mutual understanding is the key here, and that's where we should facilitate both the faculty members and the industry people to develop that sort of an understanding.
Where do we stand on the getting closer to the industry? Industry presents problems, and university dish out solutions. So where are we there? वो कचवार खरगोश वाली बात है ये, So that's what it is.
You see, as I said, industry needs to understand that we would not be able to develop the whole product in academia. I mean, we are not meant to do that, and we can never do it. We can solve their key problems, the problems that are more research oriented, the problems of theoretical nature, because this is our strength. Industry, on the other hand, they're very good at developing and creating stuff and to market it and to roll it out. So I mean, we can create prototypes, but they have to transform those prototypes towards the marketable product. And we complement one another in that sense, and we have to actually make use of our strengths. And again, I would go back to my first point here, that we need to develop that understanding that what is the strength of each partner and how do we work together, and how each partner actually benefits from one another. That's where the real linkage would happen.
What is the one biggest pain point for you as a Pro-Rector academics? What's your biggest pain point? Okay, perspective है students का, मैं faculty की बात नहीं कर रहा. Students के end से सबसे बड़ा pain point आपका क्या है?
देखिए, things are evolving so fast these days. The industry has revolutionized in the past few years with the onslaught of AI and so many things.
ये सवाल करेंगे हमसे, इसमें बात होगी.
So you see, we need to prepare the graduates that are ready for the industry, because they have to enter the market once they graduate from here. So we are very good at developing their core technical skills. When I say technical, I mean their domain expertise. But then there are so many other things around it. We need to prepare well-rounded graduates. People who are very good in communication skills, people who can work with teams, people who are leaders, people who can meet deadlines, plan projects. So these sort of skills cannot be just taught in the classroom when we are focusing on the domain specific things. There are so many things around it. And to me, I think this is one of the biggest challenges that the higher education sector of the world is facing, on how to instill those skills in our graduates. And we are also working towards that.
इससे इतने सवाल जुड़े हुए हैं. We have got very bold initiatives in the recent past. I still remember our first interaction, me and you. We were shooting a video post-COVID, I remember. और हम सीक्स के जो स्कॉलर्स एवेन्यू की तरफ वाला दरवाजा है उसके पास खड़े हुए और हम लास्ट शॉट ले रहे थे.
That was my first video recording as well. Ever? I was very stressed at that time.
in front of the camera first time. Oh, अच्छा, इस बात का मुझे नहीं पता था.
Easy.
आपने मुड़ना था और आपने एक एंडिंग डायलॉग बोलना था कि वेलकम बैक नस्टियंस. एंड वो मैंने ये बात इसलिए की क्योंकि कोविड exposed us to on this online learning, which I personally, my personal opinion is that online learning doesn't do much about, but again, it's a facilitation for people might be living in remote areas of that. But जब online learning की बात करते हैं तो your office came up with something very bold. Things like Coursera were already in the market, and universities के अपने जो है ना वो skill development courses चल रहे होते हैं. But you people came up with something like Connect Ed. By the way, a very catchy name. I absolutely love it. But Connect, इतने सारे competition के अंदर Connect Ed किधर fall करता है? This whole micro credentials thing. What's your take on it?
You see, as we said, that things are changing so rapidly, and our student, and especially Gen Z and Gen Alpha is coming as well to the university nowadays. They are looking towards more flexible ways of learning. You see, the traditional way of classroom teaching is something that we need to evolve with time, with basically because of the needs of our students and learners. So the prime motivation of establishing NUST Connect Ed was to offer that sort of a flexibility. And we want to go and target students not only who are our students, but even go beyond NUST. And we can target students all across Pakistan, even all across the globe.
How is that working out for you, by the way? How's the program working out?
I mean, the program is very new, it's innovative, it's going to take its own time. But let me first explain the concept that we have for it. And you because asked that how is it different from Coursera?
Yes.
So we want to establish a learning platform that is interactive. That's why the name Connect Ed, because we want to connect people together through this platform. It's not going to be one-way, self-paced learning on NUST Connected eventually. What we want it to make it more a cohort-based learning. So the idea is that a cohort joins a course, which is online, but then there is an instructor or a mentor that is also associated with it. And what happens is that, you take that online thing based on, your own schedules, but then weekly or at some frequency, you have those sessions that you take with that mentor. And you can have one-on-one conversations, you can even connect with the fellow students where you can do projects together, you can do presentations together, you learn from one another. So we are trying to establish those sort of online tools and integrate them in NUST Connected so that it connects people together. Because you see in the classroom, there is learning that happens when the teacher is speaking and the students are there to take that information, but there's a lot of learning that happens from the classroom itself. Because when the students are talking to one another, in my classrooms, I usually always used to make such a noisy places because I encouraged my students to talk to one another, because I strongly believe that there's a lot of learning from peer interactions. So we're trying to create that in that online space through NUST Connected. It is very different than what happened during the COVID times. In the COVID times, we were using MS Teams and Zooms to learn, where the teacher was connected through real-time interactions with the students. But here we are creating top quality videos which are developed through a lot of interactions and mentorship through instructional designers. So they're very well crafted videos.
So जो courses offer हो रहे हैं वो industry के glitches को मद्देनजर रखते हुए हो रहे हैं, right?
Yeah, obviously the spectrum is so huge. Eventually we want to roll out whole programs of NUST through this platform, but we are taking baby steps. So what we're trying to do first is that we are offering one hybrid course right now at NUST. By hybrid, what I mean is 1 hour is being offered online and 1 hour is done face-to-face. So the teacher goes and has discussions. So it's kind of a flipped classroom model. Similarly, we have developed some micro-credentials. Eventually, we would really like to unbundle the whole degree program. We would like the students to pick and choose whatever they want to learn. They can choose from those micro-credentials.
What a time would that be?
Yeah, so that's where we are trying to head towards.
अब उसमें एक danger भी है वैसे.
Yeah, obviously.
उसमें एक मतलब ये ना कि 4-year degree program might just one day, just fade out. I'm saying it's not going to happen immediately, but of course it's going to take some time.
And that's why we want to be prepared for those times, so that we give those flexibilities, because learners are evolving so fast these days, and we have to keep pace with their advancements.
एक चीज़ आपसे मुझे पूछने का बड़ा अरसा इश्तियाक रहा है आपसे, वो ये था कि यूनिवर्सिटीज आर स्टिल टीचिंग लाइक इट्स 1985 और मैं बात करूँ इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज की. You as an electrical engineer, okay, अपने bias होकर जवाब नहीं देना इसका, actual जवाब देना है आपको. Do you think emerging technologies are overshadowing the traditional engineering programs?
I don't think
intake कम नहीं हो रही, numbers hit नहीं हो रहे.
देखिए emerging technologies जो है ना वो they are actually learnt at the advanced level. You need to have the foundations very strong. So I am that sort of a person कि you need to build strong foundations. एक दफ़ा आपका वो core bachelor's degree की core foundations are well established, then you can learn the technologies yourselves as well.
So what you're saying is they're an extension of the traditional engineering programs?
Mostly. अगर आप देखिए कि जो भी चीज़ें नई आ रही हैं, they all have foundations in the theoretical stuff that we have. So usually देखिए, in order to develop critical thinking, in order to make the decisions, in order to do research, you need to have that foundational knowledge. So that is very important. So, in my opinion, we need to emphasize on the foundations. That is the core of a bachelor's degree. How would you distinguish a bachelor's degree from something that somebody who has just learned a skill? You need to have those foundations there.
What's the biggest undergrad problem that you hear about every now and then?
Can you elaborate?
Undergraduate student हमारे यहाँ पे जो
Students
पढ़
का
रहे हैं,
problems.
उनका सबसे बड़ा मतलब what's the most frequently communicated problem to you?
देखिए, मुझे ये लगता है कि understanding and awareness is sometimes one of the biggest challenges that we have.
Of understanding of what?
Of policies, of the thinking process that the administration or the faculty has. So you see, the connection between, again, a student and a faculty is very important. The connection between administration and a student is very important as well.
Yeah.
So, because I was in the school before, and I've spent so much time in a school, and even at that time, I did not, as a faculty member, I did not have a lot of understanding how the decisions were being made at the main office. So there's a gap between the administration and the students and the faculty. So we need to bridge that gap. That is very, very important. I try to address that because I have a very open door policy in my office. Anybody can just drop by my office.
पूछ सकता हूँ उसके symptoms क्या होते हैं जब students policies से बेखबर होते हैं? तो what's the symptoms? होता क्या है उससे?
Because you see,
students के शिकवे क्या होते हैं? And this is purely for you guys, by the way.
शिकवे वैसे देखिए, when I talk to students, because again so many students come to my office directly and I listen to them, and you see where they're coming from, I really understand where they're coming from. तो इस तरह का नहीं है कि they are making unreasonable requests or मतलब it has very rarely happened. Actually, it has never happened that I thought that some student was making an unreasonable request.
Yeah.
As I said, there are issues with the understanding. Maybe somebody did not speak to them about it. Maybe somebody did not make them understand why this thing is in place like that. So, मेरा ख्याल ये है कि with open communication, many things can be resolved.
Your research has always been a huge mystery for me. Trust me. I think normally not many people even know this except for your friends and circles around here. Formal verification.
Yeah.
The only verification I knew was about Nadra verification. But your research is about identifying a problem before it even occurs.
Yeah.
उसके बारे में just a minute about that.
देखिए, आजकल software and hardware systems and all the engineering systems per se are being deployed in many safety critical applications. When I say safety critical, what I mean is like healthcare. So if a system malfunctions, there could be deaths, unfortunately. In finance, so the implications could be huge if there's a bug in a software that is being used in a bank. Similarly, let's say space travel, transportation, we are talking about autonomous vehicles these days. So these engineering systems are running these autonomous cars, and if they malfunction, there could be disastrous consequences. So the area that I work in it's called formal verification, and as you said, the whole idea is to try to identify system bugs that have been caused due to misunderstandings and due to human errors. We catch them during the design phase. That is the whole idea, and it's a very rigorous, dry sort of an approach.
Dry but important.
Very, very important.
Yes.
But we try to mathematically model a system and then use mathematical reasoning like logical deduction to evaluate if the system is going to do what it is supposed to do. So it's a very rigorous process, but as you said, very useful as well.
Do you miss teaching?
I miss it so much. I love to teach, the connection that I had with my students. I miss it so much. And every semester, I think that I would request SEEKs or other schools to let me teach. But then just because I know that my timelines are not in my hands, so I would not be able to make it, I just don't make that request. But I miss so much.
Will that be your fallback plan, if not the Pro-Rector Academics?
Yeah, for sure. Teaching is what I love. Yeah.
Wow. Dangerous inquiry coming to you. मुझे जो personally just is, I fear it a lot. For me, it's Frankenstein, to be honest with you. This AI, usage in classrooms or the AI support students are all over the place with this. Dr. Seema from Seeks was on Scholars Avenue and उन्होंने एक हमें बात बताई और हम हिल गए थे. She said that she came up with this study, or probably by MIT or something. उन्होंने बताया था कि now the future will be about mental gyms क्योंकि दिमाग इस्तेमाल तो हो नहीं रहा. Dependency on AI. Do you believe कि उसकी एक there should be a cap on it? What's your take on it?
It's very dangerous. I'm
Yes.
not an AI expert, but from academic point of view, I can comment on this. You see, AI is now penetrating everywhere, and for that we need to prepare our graduates so that they are ready for this world that is all AI is encompassing everything that we do in life these days. So we want to make sure that our students, even if they're coming from social sciences, management sciences, arts, design and architecture, they know basics of AI. We also want to use AI in our teaching as well, right? Because the faculty needs to use AI. The students need to use AI during their learning process. They need to be aware of the technology that is available to them. So we encourage the students to use AI. But we need to make sure one thing, that the usage of AI is going to be ethically done and responsibly done as well.
How do you keep the check and balance? ये बहुत मुश्किल है sir.
This is very difficult because you see, AI is new for all of us. We recently we have introduced a training, and Seeks has helped us on that. We want to train everybody at NUST on AI. The faculty needs to know what AI can do and how can I make an effective use of AI as a faculty member, as a staff member, as well as a student as well. So we are going to train everybody along all tiers about the usage of AI. And I'll just give an example. Everybody is using ChatGPT and Gemini and all these sort of tools to write stuff.
Very frequently.
It is very frequently.
It's common now.
It's very, very common, and it's okay. But as long as we declare, we don't hide that usage. That's my point when I say that we want to make ethical usage of AI, right? So, we should not be shying from using it, because we know this is a technology. It's just like a calculator that we all use. So, we can use this to do that. But, I mean, our intellectual input should be there. That is very, very important. We need to make sure that everybody knows how to create the prompts to make the most effective usage of AI. Prompt engineering is a new field, and everybody...
Oh, I absolutely love it.
So everybody has to be aware of what is the technology that is out there, and how can we make an effective usage of that technology.
Do you believe in the fact that students are sometimes, it's of course not always the case, but do you feel like students sometimes are a step ahead of their own instructors these days?
In some ways they can be, and that is absolutely fine. You see, I always believe that we have to have a relationship with the students. So when there's a relationship, we know each other. So it's absolutely normal that my students are way ahead of me in some ways, and I should be learning from them. Actually, I've learned so much from my students that I've worked with in different capacities, and it's fine. And I mean, the role of a teacher in a classroom is to make sure that he or she provides the guidance that is required for the students. You see, knowledge is not the only thing. The wisdom is what makes it very valuable. So the wisdom is coming from the teacher because he has seen more through his life. He is more experienced. And that is what the main role of a teacher is, to guide the students to how to make effective use of the knowledge that they have.
Wow, that is... जब हम 5 बजे ना दफ्तर से छुट्टी करके डॉक्टर उस्मान जा रहे होते हैं, तो दिस फॉर द ऑडियंस प्योरली बाय द वे, हम 5 बजे के बाद हमारे अंदर इतनी जो है ना वो सकत नहीं होती कि हम 1 किलोमीटर वॉक भी कर सकें. एंड देन यू मीट डॉक्टर उस्मान, ही गेट्स इनटू हिज स्पोर्ट्स अपैरल, goes on to the tennis court and starts playing and comes back at the office for his how do you do this?
No, this is part of my work-life balance.
This is really part. मुझे बता दे सर कैसे करते हैं.
You see, as I told you, like I'm not a work alcoholic at all. I am.
You're not?
No, not at all. I love to enjoy my time, and so you see, my daytime these days is full of meetings. It's not in my hands, my time during the day. and I have so many meetings. I meet so many people, so many conversations. So I really want to get it out of my mind before I start working on my own. So tennis is my way to go. So I love the conversations we have in the tennis court, the company I have there. So it really relaxes me, and then I go back to my office, as you said, after a set or so.
Yes, we see you almost every other day.
And then I go back, and that 1 hour that I spend in my office after the tennis game is the most productive that I have. Because I'm again full fresh, and I that's the best time that's the most productive time that I have in my day. Yeah.
So do you believe in global rankings?
This is a tough one.
It is.
You see, rankings.
All these DHE, QSSs, and sustainable rankings.
Speaking, to be very candid and honest with you, I do not believe in these rankings, and there's a reason why. Because see, excellence is very subjective and very difficult to measure. Excellence can happen in so many ways. There could be an excellent interaction between a teacher and a student in a classroom that you can never capture through any metric.
Okay.
A researcher could do something that could be so valuable, so impactful, and measuring its impact is not going to be easy. So it's very subjective on how to measure the quality of what a university does. And that is why I have some disagreements with the rankings. But again, having said that, I've seen that these rankings also do make a difference, And
how's that?
So we always try to engage with international partners. That is one of the very key objectives that we have in ICAD Secretariat, that we want to increase our internationalization. And when we go abroad, when we talk to people, see, in Pakistan, NUST is a brand name. Everybody knows NUST. But when you go across the borders, people don't know what NUST is about.
Oh.
And when we actually mention our ranking, they can actually place us somewhere. This is where we belong. So it has its own benefits. But as I said, it is subjective. But I also see the value in it.
You speak about internationalization. It always remains a flagship push for NUST. Students coming from all around the world, Erasmus grants, and apart from the regulatory hurdles and all that, or something else needs fixing to make NUST a true magnet for the global talent. Mm-hmm. International office always tells us that एक student को लाने में जो हमें जतन करने पड़ते हैं, So what do we do about this, considering the whole global situation as well, और पाकिस्तान की situation जो है? So हमें ये पता है कि NUST is it's a very most safest and the most conducive campus in Pakistan. But what's your take on it?
Sure. I'll take a few minutes or a few seconds maybe to just elaborate on what internationalization is and why is it so important for NUST.
Yes.
You see, internationalization means that our students have access to international faculty members and students here at home. That's what it means to me. देखिए, हर स्टूडेंट का, हर फैकल्टी मेंबर का इंटरनेशनल ग्लोबल ट्रैवल एंड एक्सपीरियंस इज नॉट ईजी टू मेक इट हैपन. So we want to make sure that this is a global campus where every student has some sort of an interaction with international communities. And for that, we want to bring international students here and international faculty members here. The presence of an international student in a classroom can be so useful for the whole batch. Right? Because you see, they would learn about different cultures, about different values, and each culture and value system has its own unique advantages and uniqueness. So we want our community to benefit from that, first of all. Similarly, faculty members, जब international community से आते हैं, they are bringing different perspectives to the classroom. It is always so useful. अब उनको लेके आना is a challenge here because we all know there are security issues and challenges here in Pakistan. फिर उसके बाद our systems also were not very conducive towards recruiting international faculty members and students. So we are working towards that. We are trying to facilitate them. As you mentioned, the international office, I must say that they are doing a great job with
yes,
a very lean team.
Yes, they are.
They are trying to give individual, attention to every prospective student who wants to come to NUST. Similarly, they have a whole sort out plan now that how to engage with the prospective students, how to bring them on board, how to make sure that they are facilitated in every way through the time that they spend at NUST. They're mashallah doing that. We are also strategizing the whole process. Jisme ke we have some regions where we want to focus more, because we expect more students and faculty members from those regions to come to Pakistan. So we are doing some outreaching activities as well. So it's a whole strategy that we have developed. Or mashallah, I'm really proud of my international team, and they're doing a great job in that regard.
हमारे centers हैं यहाँ पे. We talk about the recently established Lincoln's Corner at NUST, or Sadbhav was the recent big thing that happened here. Chinese study centers and all. What is the significance of these centers to the students?
जो मैंने आपको बताया internationalization at home का concept, because we want to give that flavor of internationalization to our students. अब जैसे Lincoln's Corner, they have so many activities. They kind of share the cultural values of US. Sadbhav Center, they have brought in all the virtual reality equipment so that we can virtually visit Sadbhav University and see what they do there. So, and they also offer different language courses for the students. So we want to give the students this sort of an international experience here. Also, the connections that we establish, the partnerships between the faculty members that we have between NUST and other universities abroad, uske through their research linkages, we always encourage co-supervision of our students. Jisme ke there's a faculty member from abroad who is co-supervising a student with one of our faculty members here at NUST. So again, a different perspective comes into the research. We encourage our faculty members to pitch in for research grants. देखिए, in collaborations के through we can get access to equipment which is available abroad and not available within the country, so we can benefit from that. Our students get the opportunity to travel abroad as well sometimes, our faculty also. So I mean, internationalization can benefit us in multiple ways, and we're trying to explore all those options.
Do we have student exchange programs at NUST?
Yes, we have several exchange programs. Sometimes they are on reciprocal basis as well, sometimes one way, but I mean there are several programs, many students benefit from that. And we also, when I say reciprocal, I mean that we facilitate their students coming in terms of local hospitality and other arrangements, and our students also get similar sort of provisions that sometimes they don't even need to pay the fee when they go abroad. So we're trying to engage with international partners and create various opportunities for our students in this regard.
Apart from the regulatory deadlocks that you face probably on a daily basis from the government and the Higher Education Commission, what do you think? सबसे ज़्यादा चीज़ आपको कौन सी चीज़ तंग करती है इस सब के अंदर, यूनिवर्सिटी प्रोसेसेस के अंदर, even as small as a thing as introducing a program, during these whole ACMs or meetings के अंदर, so you're introducing a new program, what's the procedural hindrance?
ये क्वेश्चन अगर आप फैकल्टी मेंबर्स से पूछें तो वो ज़्यादा इसका बेहतर जवाब देंगे. आई एम द वन हु डिफाइंस द प्रोसीजर्स, बट देखिए वी ट्राई टू फैसिलिटेट. आई नो दैट देयर आर डिलेज. देखिए ये जो एकेडेमिया है ना, it's not easy to change what's happening in a higher education institution, because we have our processes, our systems. So changes take time. They do happen, but they take time. But देखिए मेरी हमेशा कोशिश होती है कि you see our faculty members, it's a great community. Any institution, the core of that institution is its HR, and faculty of an academic institution is definitely what runs it. So हमारे faculty members, mashallah, they have done their higher degrees from all across the globe. हमें जो यहाँ पे diversity मिलती है, I always say that you name a country and I can bring you a faculty member from that country here at NUST. देखिए mashallah, so this is the diversity we have. I don't think any university in the world would have such a great diversity. तो इतनी अच्छी university से they have done their higher education, and mashallah they bring all the good practices here back to us. So unki input in the curriculum design, in the policy making is so valuable. My role is to facilitate those changes to happen through a process, obviously. So, but there are delays. देखिए academic council meetings जिसमें कि main decision making होती है, they happen only twice a year usually. So we have to wait until that meeting for sure. Then there is a process, because ये देखिए एक faculty member जब, this is what academic freedom is about. A faculty member can propose anything, but then there is deliberation, there is collective decision making, collective wisdom comes into play, जिसमें कि different faculty members जो कि like-minded होते हैं, within their own department, within their own domain, they discuss about it. Once everybody has an agreement, they send the case to the main office, then we all sit together, we bring in other experts, sometimes from the industry as well, and we deliberate upon those things, and then we take it to the academic council. So I mean, this is a process that has been defined, but I always encourage faculty members to bring in new things, and mashallah, they keep bringing so good ideas that sometimes I'm amazed, and that's the beauty of the whole process that we have.
Okay, then. And 2024 has been a big year for NUST. We, dived back into the medical studies. It's NUST School of Health Sciences. So you're excited about it? You have a good feeling about it?
Yes, for sure. You see, NUST is known for its excellence. और एक जो हमारा core value है, that is integrity, and we want to make sure that our graduates are very ethical when they go and work in their domains. So mashallah, I'm so excited to bring the medical program into our ambit, and it's a great addition. देखिए NUST में एक medical program करने की सबसे बड़ी जो motivation थी, because things are becoming very interdisciplinary these days. AI is integrated big time into healthcare. Robotics की integration is so much into healthcare. हमारे पास, we have some of the top quality researchers in the country in these domains, but then we did not have a medical program. Now, by bringing the medical program, we have brought the medical doctors, the faculty, the expertise in healthcare, and I'm sure that by bringing all these people together, there could be so many good things can happen in terms of research in these domains. Similarly, the way that we have designed our curriculum, it's also very unique, and I would appreciate the great work that the principal of the health school, you have also invited him
yes,
in
he was
Scholars
there.
Avenue, I think. So mashallah, he has done such a great job in devising the curriculum. We have tried to bring the NUST flavor of interdisciplinarity into the curriculum as well. And mashallah, we have very high hopes once the first batch goes into the market.
It's the way forward. Cross-disciplinary research, it is the way forward. We have a whole school dedicated to it now.
Yes.
Science itself, I mean, it's doing a marvelous job. But again, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Osman, I hope I'm not missing anything. I know this conversation could go on for 3 hours or 4 hours. Easy, I can tell you so many things. I think one final thing, the concept of self-sustainable universities. We are a public sector university, the best we have in the country. What do you think about self-sustainability of the university in terms of everything?
देखिए, funding is one of the core things in any endeavor that you have, right? So, in higher education, funding really matters a lot. If you look at the budgets of big universities around the globe, they are huge. They are huge, incomparable to what we have at NUST. So, to generate funds is very important for a university these days. As I said, our goal is excellence. So we definitely need funding for multiple reasons. First of all, we have to make sure that the equipment that we have in our labs is, best of its kind. We want to make sure that we bring the best faculty members. We want to make sure, you see, one of the strengths of NUST is that we are bringing students from all strata of the society. Some of the students, we support them through the need-based program that we have. So again, we need funds for supporting such initiatives, and even enhance that, because anybody who is good enough to come to NUST must be supported. They should not be hindered just because of financial limitations. So in order to do that, we need to be self-sustainable, and mashallah, our leadership is looking at several ways of making NUST self-sustainable.
Absolutely.
And we hope that in the coming years, we would definitely have more flexibility in terms of our finances.
Well, Dr. Osman, thank you very much. I mean,
Thank you very
happy Ramadan to you. Hope आपके सहूर और इफ्तार अच्छे चल रहे होंगे.
Mashallah, it has been so great, and thank you very much for inviting me. It was such a great pleasure to talk to you.